Docker volumes are one of those things where if you're just starting with Python and Docker, they can be a little bit tricky to understand. So what I want to do is show you with a very basic setup why volumes are really important and a bit about what happens if we define them inside a Docker Compose and of course if you don't define them. So what we've got is a really simple setup. We have a main Python script, and all this is really doing is just creating a directory, creating this little log.txt file. It's then just going to be writing to that file and then reading from it. I've got this down here, which I'll bring in just a minute and explain a bit more. We've got a Docker file, and all this is doing is just building this and running it. And we then have a Docker Compose, and we're going to be playing around with the volume section here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run the app without any volumes. So if we go ahead and just look at main, what we should see is this all happen. Well, you won't see this, but it will happen behind the scenes. But what you will see is we're going to see this guy here. So we're doing a print statement. So we're going to go ahead and do Docker Compose up. And this, of course, is basically just writing this to a file, and then this is just printing off the stuff we've read. So let's go ahead and do Docker Compose up one more time. This is going to be restarting the container, so it's not stopping, it's just going to be restarting. And you'll notice that because I've done Docker Compose up 2 more times, we can see that for the 3rd time we've got 3 print statements basically saying, yeah, it started at, and then we can see like 11, 18, 27, 39, 44. So all the times that the container has started. Now what's interesting, if I go ahead and do Docker Compose down, it's this one here, then let's do Docker Compose up one more time, we only get 1. So me kind of nuking the container and restarting it, why did this go from 3 lines down to 1? Well, that's because containers have their own file system. Because we haven't defined any volume, we've not given anything that's going to be like long lasting. Basically what's happening is this is existing and basically it's living for as long as the container is alive. So because we, in this case here, because we killed it after this one, we said, all right, this container is no more. We then restarted it. That's why we only have 1 line here. So if we go ahead and restart again, so we're not stopping it, just restarting, do it a few more times. This text file in this directory, this is persisting. Whereas if we kill, let's do it one more time, Docker Compose down. And now before I run Docker Compose up, that data along with that container, our file system, is gone. So hit run one more time. We can now see we have a fresh file. What we can do, let's go ahead and bring in this here. So you can actually look inside it. If I do Docker Compose up, in fact, if we add the -d for detached and do --build, it's going to build this again. So it's going to include this time. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead into here. Look inside February, app, terminal. Okay, now if I do cd into data, ls, okay, we can see log.txt. So you can go in and see it. Now inspecting our log file, we can see we have a start time of 11:20:38. Now let's go back to our code. Now let's go ahead and do a Docker Compose down. So we'll kill the container and we'll then do a fresh rebuild, Docker Compose up dbuild. We can then head back into Docker desktop. We're going to go back to that same folder, cd into data, we see log.txt exists. Now it's 11:22. So this is just proving that this log file, and in fact this whole folder of /data, this is basically only existing for the time that a container is alive. So that's like the important point I want to try and make at the start of this. If you don't do any work with volumes or defining volumes, etc., anything you do in terms of like your container, that's going to be effectively alive for as long as your container is alive. So what I want to do is show you how you can make your data persist in between these like container rebuilds. So for now, I'm going to remove this. Not super important for now. And in fact, we'll clear and we'll do Docker Compose down. So if we want to bring volumes into the mix, what we need to do is, in fact, there's a few ways you can do this. One easy way is by using your Docker Compose. So what I'm going to do is uncomment this guy here and this guy here. So this is doing something really important. Whenever we say volumes at the bottom here, we're basically telling Docker to set up something that's going to be persisting. It's not going to be wiped or removed every time we start a container. So we have our container here, or our service, our Python app, and we're saying, go ahead and use the following volume. It's going to use my app data volume, which you need, because you've defined it here. In fact, if you try and do Docker Compose up without this, you should get a problem. Yeah, there we go. So service app refers to undefined volume app data. So yeah, because I've commented out here. Whereas if we bring back the volume app data, we're saying that this app data volume is basically paired with slash data. So given that we've got our setup with our volumes, it's now going to behave much differently. So let's now run docker compose up and see what happens. Okay, as expected, we have our single print statement. Let's do docker compose up one more time. Brilliant. So this is, up until now, exactly the same as earlier on. So now let's try something that's going to make this look a whole lot different. Let's do docker compose down and remove the containers. This is effectively stopping this bit here. What's going to happen though is that this volume is going to persist. So we'll do docker compose down. Okay, looks good. In fact, if you want to see the volume, if you do docker volume, sorry, spell it right, ls, there we go, February app data here. So that's basically this guy. So if we do docker compose up one more time, and before I do, remember that last time when we did down and up, we only got this back with one file because obviously this text file and directory, this was removed whenever we killed the container. So docker compose up, and it's now got 3 lines. So that's where the magic happened. So it had 2. We killed the container, but of course that doesn't matter for the volume. The volume is going to be persisting. So when we then say, okay, container, go ahead and start again, it's just using that same persistent volume we had last time. What it can do, if I do docker compose, sorry, not docker compose, docker volume ls, we can now ask Docker to like remove that storage altogether. So if we do docker volume rm, paste this in, and of course it's complaining so volume's in use, no problem. We'll kill the container first, try that again. Okay, it's been removed. So now if we do docker compose up, we should just see the single line this time again. And we do, that's fine. We'll do docker compose down. Of course, the container's gone, but the volume still exists. So if we do docker compose up one more time, we should now see the line we did last time plus a new line. And we do. So hopefully that proves the importance of volumes. And I think this is one of those things where if you're just starting off with running Python inside a Docker environment, it can be a bit confusing at first. But I think the key takeaway here is that effectively containers have their own file system, and that volumes live outside the container lifecycle. So if you're creating, say, like a couple of folders and you're creating some files inside your container, if you don't pair that up inside a volume and then kill the container, all that stuff is going to go along with it. Whereas if you then go ahead and say, you can do this in a few ways, but say inside a Docker Compose file, if you define some volumes, those are going to be persistent even if you go ahead and then kill the container. So in this case here, we've just said, here's a volume, and then we said this service, so my app, this is going to be using that volume to keep its data persistent. So things like little databases, any like file store, etc., you can go ahead and just do a volume, and then your containers can then kind of run independently of that volume. Cheers for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, and see you all in the next video.